My mom gave me this tie a long, long time ago.
Well, then you have to like that.
That's right, exactly.
Oh, geez. School shooting. Your ex.
Yeah, I know.
Love it when this many people come. I do. It's off. It's my shiny thing.
That's for real.
Are the gardenias still smelling good? Uh-huh. Good. All right, let me practice this. And you wore red for the ladies. Go to Tom.
Yep.
I wonder if Tom got the memo. Did you get that? You did? You
Yep.
got the memo?
That's funny. No inappropriate gestures.
This is insane.
I love it. Open up the other one. We have veterans, we have water department people, we have EMS, and we have women's club, right?
Yes, a lot going on tonight. Load.
Oh,
When you were buckling, it's like
Oh, yeah, we do.
like,
Right in the
oh,
mic.
what the hell?
You could really get air
So
going.
nuts.
looking at, you know.
Well, especially too because you always had the.
Packed house, huh? Dusting off all the seats
Can't do it
tonight.
on the comments, but my suggestion is to amend the agenda to
That's a tough
add
one.
it to the
Any measure
agenda.
of a successful
Because
society.
your rules say
Oh,
no
yeah.
voting can take place unless council comments.
Look at these kids, they're bummed.
Yours is it?
Have to advertise.
I wish there was a quick fix to that, you know?
It doesn't really matter. I guess it'd be under new business for sure. So it would be under, you can do it under city council, I guess.
Al, do we want to open that? No?
I would think you'd want to put it there.
That's right, the pennies. The pennies for our new fire rescue. So they're all here too. Oh my gosh. Cool.
Good stuff.
Deck, I told you it was a meeting. Remember the other day, I was like, it's gonna be a big meeting.
No, it'd be 8A.
They asked Al, he said, no, she's not out. So we'll like, not work.
Everybody ready? Let's get this shit going.
Show it.
I'd like to call the May 7th, 2019 Oldsmar City Council meeting to order. I want to thank everyone for coming out for our entertainment tonight. No, I'm just kidding. All right, please, the first item on the agenda is going to be the invocation and pledge of allegiance that will be led by our city attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Our Heavenly Father, we come humbly before you in a time of a national tragedy. The deaths and terrible injuries suffered by the victims of the Colorado school shootings this afternoon burdens our hearts, a burden shared throughout the nation. We pray that you will comfort the families of those injured or killed and welcome those who died into your heavenly kingdom. We are hopeful that your grace and love will be with those who have suffered and with those present here tonight who share in their pain and loss. This we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome, everyone. I think this is the biggest crowd I've ever seen in here.
Yep, I agree.
That's either really we're doing a good job and y'all just want to come out and support us, or it's going to be a tough night tonight. Next item on the agenda is the citizens' open forum. There are a couple rules. One, you only have 5 minutes to speak. When you first get up, please give your name, your address, including the city. And I don't believe we have any public hearings tonight, so you could speak to anything on the agenda. I am gonna, with the being humored a little by council, I am gonna allow that when we get to item number 18 and 19, we're gonna have those individuals who have presented those letters of interest to speak at that time instead of doing it now, okay? All right, so let's see. Anyone got any comments on this side of the room? Jerry Beaverland.
Oh.
The mayor's in the house. Mr. Mayor?
You can get over to the podium.
Good evening, council.
Hi, Jerry.
Harry?
Mr. Mayor?
Jerry Beaverland, 512 Pine Avenue South. I'm going to bring up a suggestion. I'm going to make it as short as I can. This 5-minute thing is what I started years ago, and I got to live by it. Don't kill me if I don't live by it. I'm going to make a suggestion. Then you all can consider it later on, because after I make it, I'm going to leave. I'm going to walk away. And Veterans Park is a jewel for the city of Oldsmar. And the monument that's down there that I think you're all going to dedicate, the 19th,
August 7th?
17th,
August 7th, I think it is.
the Purple Heart Monument.
Yes.
It is incredible. And I put it on my Facebook, and the response to that has been incredible. Not only on the Facebook, but personally. People of government have called me. And they all say the same thing. The city of Oldsmar is incredible for doing what they can for the veterans. So that brings me to what I'm going to suggest that you take up, consider yourselves, talk about it with the city manager, and if you ever want to bring it back, that's great. You have that beautiful monument on the left. I suggest another monument on the right to set it all off. When the Vietnam veterans came back home, they weren't treated very well, and it was a shame the way they were treated. I would suggest that a Vietnam's veteran be placed on this side to 2 wings and makes the thing great. Now, I know it's going to cost money, Al, so I'm going to bring this up. In 1996, when I decided that the city is going to have Veteran Days ceremonies and Memorial Day ceremonies, I brought it back to the council and they agreed with me. I appointed a committee to raise money for the obelisk that we have down at Veterans Park. They raised the money really quick, and we got it, and we placed it over here on this side of the council chambers. No, on that side of the city hall. I keep getting mixed up with these 2 buildings. And we had our ceremonies out here. Then we moved it down there. I would suggest that you, and they raised the money and they paid for it. I would suggest if the council would consider that, I would get with the Veterans Committee, and either y'all or they can select a committee to raise the money. And I guarantee you they can do it. There's a lot of, most of the veterans that you see at our ceremonies are from Vietnam. In World War II, those heroes are passing away quick. So if you would do that, that would put something on both sides. You could sell the bricks to Vietnam veterans on that part. You can sell bricks on this part with Purple Heart recipients. Then we do it, and the businesses would fall in place. I can almost guarantee that you'd have a big outpouring to build that monument down here on this on the other side. That's my suggestion. Y'all can mull it around in your intelligence up here, and then when you decide maybe somebody wants to bring it back, or somebody wants to talk about it, or you want to talk with Al about it. I know Al doesn't want to spend the money, and you don't have to. We can raise the money. So that's my suggestion. If y'all would consider it, I would appreciate it. I thank you who you are.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Gary.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Eileen Brill, 707 Satin Leaf Avenue. I want to talk a little bit about the Purple Heart Monument. I'm sorry to repeat what Mr. Beaverland just talked about, but I just want to say that it's beautiful. It really, really is. I don't know if everyone has had a chance to see it personally, but it's really, really, really nice. And there were a lot of people involved in that, and there was over a couple years. It just didn't happen overnight. Curlew Hills did a wonderful job designing and installing it. Leisure Services did the brickwork around it, and I understand there's going to be shrubs and things going on as time goes on. They installed lights and everything. I don't know, I don't remember who paid for it. I don't know if it was council or Mr. B authorized it, but that was just wonderful to do that. Oldsmar really takes care of their veterans, and it's really a nice tribute to them. And lastly, it was the Veterans Advisory Board that kind of supported this project, and Mark Brill and Mark Chicola kind of ran with it, and they stuck with it, and they're Purple Heart recipients also. So I'm glad that it came to fruition, and it looks really, really nice. So that's all I wanted to say, and I urge everyone to go to the park and look at it, or come to the dedication on August 7th at 11 o'clock. It's just really, really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Seeing none, on the right side, or my right.
Jeff Sengoba, 2673 64th Place North.
He just sold me a bike. I'm sorry, that wasn't fair. Go ahead.
It's a great bike. Okay. I'm actually here to kind of talk about the BMX track, which everyone can see it. They go down Tampa Road. Just letting the council and the people know that it had a lot of history in just this short time here. Since the Olympics have introduced BMX, there has been at least one or two Olympians that actually train at that track that have gone either to the trials, to the Olympics themselves, or gone on to the World Championships. And right now, we're kind of in a bind of just getting the track fixed with certain issues. And we just want the council to know there's definitely people in the area that want that to stay there. There's been amazing things done. In this room alone, you have probably in the next Olympics or the one after that, probably 2 or 3 people that are capable of going there, but they need a place to train. That is one of the best, if not the best, establishments in the U.S., and it makes it, being down here in Florida and being right here in Oldsmar, it makes it viable for anyone to come in. They have people coming in from Brazil, Colombia. I think the group came in from the Netherlands to train there. And it's all because we have the amenities in the area that they can get everywhere. They can get to the beach, they can get to hotels nearby, great food places. And it all starts with your help of getting that track back open so we can even have the next Olympian who right now might be on a Strider bike, only 3 or 4 years old. But we want to definitely let you know that there are definitely people in the area who care very deeply about that track. Thank you.
Thank you.
How are y'all doing?
Good.
My name is Bo Galvin. I'm with Rotary Club of Oldsmar Eastlake. I just wanted to say thank you to all the city council members for all you do to support us as a club. With the efforts from the city, all of you up here and everyone else in this room too, those that do know about Oldsmar Eastlake Rotary Club and those that do not, we're able to do so many projects right here in our community. Just some of the ones that we've been able to do is support our veterans by purchasing, we're going to be purchasing adaptive wheelchairs as the Warrior Games come to Tampa for veterans both here in Oldsmar and throughout the Tampa Bay area. We support David Wallace and the rest of the Oldsmar Cares Food Pantry and other events with that. Support our schools here, both Forest Lakes, Oldsmar Elementary, and Lake St. George, both through Rising Stars program to continue the growth of our students. And also those that are doing well in their communities, just to continue and foster growth amongst those here so we can continue to develop leaders of the future here. So just here today, I just wanted to come and say thank you all for what y'all do supporting us with our Armadillo run in December. So for those that don't know about the Armadillo run, go ahead and put it on your calendars for this year. I expect to see every single one of you all there. And if you're not, I'm going to find you. But I just had a certificate of appreciation for everybody and just to say thank you all this evening for all you do to support us as a club. Without y'all's support, we couldn't do it. So thank you all for what y'all do.
Thank you for what you do.
Please give Howard our best for his
will.
mother.
I will.
Thank you.
Anyone else on this side of the room? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, my name is Vanessa Marta and I'm at 1310 Bay Harbor Drive, Palm Harbor. I'm speaking about the track. I just wrote it down because
Kind of guessed the track was coming up.
I can't remember everything I wrote, so I'm going to be reading from a paper. Oldsmar BMX is not just a track. It is a happy community that provides so many positive reinforcements to our children, our teenagers, and even adults. It's developed friendships, confidence, and promotes a healthy lifestyle. Oldsmar BMX is considered a second home to us. We have met so many wonderful friends and people that we now consider part of our family. From the moment my son stepped foot on the track, he fell in love with not only the sport and the track, he fell in love with everything that comes with it. The track and sport has changed my son's life in so many ways. He has developed confidence, respect for himself and others, and the determination to achieve goals that he has set forth for himself. This track is a wonderful getaway for today's generation from the rough reality that they face on a day-to-day basis. It does not allow them the time to look for or get into any trouble. Many of us, whether it be parents, grandparents, aunts, or uncles, have joined also to enjoy riding and to continuously spend quality time with our loved ones. Excuse me. The track's closure has upset many of us. Every day it has been closed. It has been taking away that burning desire for the riders to continue their journey on becoming the best that they can be and achieving their goals that they have been working so hard for. I understand the closure of the track was due to safety reasons. I would like to promote the idea of possibly allowing the riders access to the track while blocking off the access to structures in question. Allowing so will continue the positive atmosphere for all to continue riding and enjoying time with their family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Going once, going twice?
Oh.
Oh. Trouble.
Trying to skip this month's challenge, are we?
Oh, no, ma'am. Oh, no, ma'am.
Yep, I'm Amanda, 135 East Lake Club Drive, the Poet Laureate of Oldsmar. And for those of you who don't know, I attend the first City Council meeting of the month, and I read poems, and I challenge City Council to write poems of their own. So I would actually like to start with Councilmember Dan Saraki's poem. Last month, I challenged City Council to go somewhere they've never been to in Oldsmar and write a poem about it. So his poem is Place for Reflection. Large windows let the light shine in. The new wood floor is cold to the touch. Outside, you see green trees, wildlife, and the trail. Tree, monkey, pigeon, down dog, and child pose, to name a few. Warrior pose brings strength and balance. It's yoga time at the Oldsmar Recreation Center. Stretch, relax, and reflect good thoughts about the people that surround your life. Thank you for that wonderful poem. And I had a lot of inspiration the past few weeks. I was extremely geeking out between the new Avengers movie, and last weekend was Free Comic Book Day. So I've had superheroes on the mind, and that kind of inspired today's theme. So I wrote the poem for you today, One Kind of Superhero. Heroes are not just those who can stop speeding trains. Heroes can also show words within the page. The lamppost in the snow, a journey of rings and elves. The real heroes are the ones who organize the shelves and introduce us to stories from mystery to Maid Marian. Superheroes sit behind the desk with the sign that reads librarian.
Nice.
And if you can guess where this is going, the challenge, the prompt that I'm giving to you is write about firefighters or police officers, teachers or nurses or anyone else who you consider to be a superhero of Oldsmar.
That's a good one. You know, I do have my homework from last time.
Oh, you do? Do you want to read it? Do you want me to read it?
I was just going to give it to you and save it for the next time, but I will. I actually did mine on new experiences, so it was a little different.
Okay,
I was being kind of artsy when I did that.
I like it. Interpreting. I like it.
A fresh new day, an honored paid, and a journey just beginning. I enjoyed honors being paid to a deserving old friend. While his life is far from done, his work for our community has ended. His victories is our benefit. We all have won. Take a short drive. I speak to our youth. They are joining the workforce and leaving their schools. Their eyes are bright. Their energy is strong. Their future is in front of them, and their new journey will be filled with new experiences, and their future will be long. A fresh day, an honor paid, and a journey just beginning.
Pretty good.
Do you want me to hand you the mic so you can drop it?
Go drop.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Seeing none, we're going to move on.
Hold on a second, you got one more back there.
Oh.
Council, I'm Brad Jergens, owner of Astro Cycles, Newport Richey, 6304 Congress Street. Obviously talking about the track. This is a very positive thing. I've only been going for a few months, but I can already see it's all about community. It's all about family. It's all about improving kids' confidence, fitness, very, very positive things. Tourism, as Jeff said, this is a very smart idea to approve this funding. So please consider that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brad.
All right. Anyone else?
Oh.
I see a hand way back there. Oh. Way back. That is the wrong way, Brad. All right, we're going to close the Citizens Open Forum. I just want to point something out. So Mayor Beaverland came up with a beautiful idea. I mean, the council has to discuss it, decide if it's, whole majority thing. That's the way this works. But I get a note from our city manager who said, I'll put the first 1,000 in.
Woohoo!
So I'll match the next 1,000, so we got 2,000 already.
You can make it 3.
3.
You can make it 3.
All right, very good. All right, at this time, we're going to have, tell you what I'm going to do. At the indulgence of the council, I'd like to move item 14 up to the very beginning. I need a motion to suspend the rules of the day to do so.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
At this time, what we're going to do is we're going to go to item number 14 on the agenda, which is under the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 14 is approved work order number 4 from 2018-007 RFQ with King Engineering Associates Incorporated for the BMX Track retaining wall evaluation. The background is in 2015, the city's existing BMX track was reconstructed using a combination of earthen embankments and mechanically stabilized earth retaining walls. As early as September in 2015, the city noted that the retaining walls were beginning to exhibit some distress, which prompted several evaluations by consulting firms and the designer of the wall system over the past several years. At this time, the BMX track has been closed due to life safety concerns. King Engineering Associates and their team of geotechnical sub-consultants will provide professional engineering services to evaluate the mechanically stabilized walls at the Oldsmar BMX track. In support of the engineering analysis, the work order includes performance of geotechnical testing and analysis to determine the potential causes for the wall's distress. The consultant will provide a report of findings as well as recommendations for remediation or replacement of the walls. The engineering analysis and report will be completed within 105 calendar days from the notice to proceed. Professional services included in the scope of work shall be provided on a time and materials basis with a not-to-exceed budget of $99,681. Funding is available in the Capital Projects Fund 302, and staff recommends approval.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Get it done. Thanks for moving it along so quickly, Al.
Listen, nobody wants this track fixed worse than the people up here. Know that is 100% true. And save our track, I like that. But safety is always gonna be first. We're not gonna let any kids get on it, any riders get on it, when we don't know with 100% certainty that it's safe. Unfortunately, that takes a little time. I don't know if the council, whether or not there is some opportunity to allow riders out there and where it still would be considered safe. I'm gonna ask staff maybe look at that and give us their opinion. I'm not gonna try to do that up here as a council right now. I don't think it's appropriate for us to do that. But anybody got any other comments?
I just wanted to say, I love it when people come to council meetings, and thank you all for coming and being engaged citizens and coming before us to speak. I just wanted to say that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely agree.
Absolutely. Hasn't passed yet. There's a motion and a second. Second, you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying BMX Track.
BMX Track.
All right, motion passes. There you go. You're welcome. I have a feeling the room's gonna get a little bit thinner, which is okay. You don't have to stay. All right, I need a motion to return to the rules of the day.
So moved.
A second?
A second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the community minute, and I call to our city clerk.
Oh, yes, I'd just like to highlight a few items. There's an interactive pop-up art project. This art is scavenger hunt, requires water to unveil animal tracks. There are 10 spots located around Oldsmar. Watch our Facebook and website pages for more information this week, or visit oldsmarpopupart.com. And Harbor Palms, if you're living there, there's going to be an infrastructure update May 16th here in this room, council chamber, from 4 o'clock to 6:30. You should also get a mailer sometime towards the end of this week. And the hockey rink groundbreaking. Yay! Everyone is welcome to help kick off the hockey rink. There's a lot of activity and surprises there that day. Groundbreaking, May 17th, 4 o'clock at the Oldsmar Sports Complex. That's what I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The hockey rink, BMX, we got it all. All right, we just got to make sure it's all safe.
We just got to pay for it.
That's right. All right. The next item on the agenda is approval of the addition of new items. I am going to ask that we add, first off, the new items on the agenda are item 6 and agenda item number 19. But I'm also going to suggest that we add 8A, PSTA. We had an opportunity present itself where we have an opportunity to appoint a member to the PSTA board, and I'd like to place someone in nomination when we get to that.
Okay.
Is there anybody who wishes to pull anything from the, or add any new items to the agenda? Seeing none, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is awards and recognition. We got some award winners here. Calling them. Nan is doing double duty today.
Double duty. Good evening, Nan Bennett, Public Works Director, City of Oldsmar. I hope each of you attended the Water Conservation Art Challenge reception and exhibit opening at City Hall earlier tonight. It will, if you didn't make it or you want to see it again, the display will be, it will be on display until June 27th. The exhibit included the work of local artists for 2 separate challenges. The first one was the value of water, and that was an art challenge for all ages and specifically adults, mostly adults. And then we also had the 2019 Drop Savers contest, which we do annually. The value of water event contest started last year as a way for the City of Oldsmar to bring attention to water conservation in our community. The contest highlights local artist interpretation and of the importance of clean water to both our environment and our everyday lives. And the artists were encouraged to use mixed media types to bring their visions to life. So we had some spectacular entries. It was very difficult, but 3 finalists were chosen to highlight the water conservation issues and themes. And in the adult division, Jennifer Vasquez took first place with her Treasure It. Michael Knapp took second place with his Florida Pipeline acrylic. And Curtis Whitwam took third place with a watercolor of manatees in blue. And what we'd like to award tonight here at Council is our 2019 Drop Savers contest. This is an annual event that the City of Oldsmar sponsors for artwork. It's an artwork contest among elementary school age children. The challenge is associated with a statewide Florida section American Water Works Association Drop Savers poster contest. The students are asked to design a poster about water conservation. The local artwork is then judged and awarded, and the local winners are chosen in 3 different age groups, and the winning entries advance to the state for judging. Oldsmar students from both Oldsmar Elementary and Forest Lakes Elementary participated. And this year, each of the schools also have a statewide winning entry. So let's meet the students and see some of their winning artwork. So I'm going to announce, we're going to start with Oldsmar Elementary, and we'll start with the Division 1 and work our way up. So if I could have Nathan Labricu from Oldsmar Elementary. He's in 1st grade. Come up for the 3rd place in his division. This is Division 1 for kindergartners and 1st graders.
She's looking for something. So here.
Okay.
Little
so each student's going to get a bag with their artwork transferred on it, so they get a copy of their artwork. Their artwork's hanging in City Hall right now, and they've got some gifts inside the bag as well. Wow. And I think we want them to hang up here to get pictures of the whole group. Is that correct? You want to keep them up here? Okay. Okay. Could we have George Homsey? He is a kindergartner from Oldsmar Elementary, and he's our 2nd place winner. Okay, and in the Division 1 from Oldsmar Elementary, could we have Eric Tarteski? Could he please go?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's too cute.
Thank you.
Dude, turn around so everybody can see you.
There you go. Wait, stand with the mayor. Stand with the mayor. There you go.
Smile. Eric, stand with Eric. Eric,
Cute.
Okay.
Oh my God, I know.
So let's go to the Division 2 for Oldsmar Elementary. We'll start with the third place. Could Zuzana Jarwaska please come up? And this Division 2 is second and third graders. And in second place, could we have Emma come up, please?
Scary.
Congratulations. Turn around over here and smile.
Oh.
Okay, and in Division 2 from Oldsmar, could we have Emily Cruz Perez for the first place winner in Division 2? And then we're going to move on to Division 3. Oh, is she coming? Division 3 for Oldsmar Elementary is McKenna Minor in third place. And in second place in Division 3, which is fourth and fifth graders, is Raina Hardigan. And in first place in Division 3 at Oldsmar Elementary, Landon Godfrey, please.
My neighbor.
Okay. And we might want to get a picture of all the Oldsmar Elementary winners together. And while we're up there, our Division 1 first place winner, Eric Tartuski, won third place in state.
Go Owls. It's my school.
There you go. Perfect.
Scooch a little more. Let me see your back. Scooch real close together. Come closer.
Come on. A little closer.
Hold that pose, guys. Tell me when you guys are done.
Oh.
Okay, done.
Way to go Owls.
Adorable.
And now look at me.
Can you scoot over? No. Thank you.
All right, good job, y'all.
Well, that was about half of our student artists in Oldsmar. We have another half coming from Forest Lakes Elementary. So for Division 1, which is the kindergartner and first graders, could we have our third place winner, Kaylee Garrett, please? She's here.
Over here. I know we can do a photo op.
Okay. And our second place in the Division 1, which is kindergarten and first grade, Jacob Fuller.
Do you want it?
All right.
Handshake there.
And in first place for Division 1 at Forest Lakes Elementary is Isaac Acosta. Okay, and in Division 2, which is second and third grade, our third place winner is Hazelyn Rodriguez. Our second place winner is Catherine Sutherland.
He's scary. I know.
And our first place winner in Division 2 at Forest Lakes is Isabella Jackson. Isabella also took first place statewide. at Forest Lakes Elementary Division 3. These are the 4th and 5th graders. And third place is Maya Smith. In second place is Simon Garcia for the 3rd Division 3.
Who wants my job?
And for Forest Lakes Elementary in Division 3, 4th and 5th graders, the first place winner is Shams Yousefi.
All right, group photo. Everybody try to squeeze in a little bit. Come back this way, to me a little bit, because I'm gonna stand behind you. Okay? A little bit more.
That's some consensus building right there.
I see it. I can feel it. I don't know what's better. The kids are.
All right.
I love it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Dad. You see how she did that? You get down to their level.
All right.
I'm sorry.
And just a special thanks to all the teachers at Oldsmar Elementary and the Forest Lakes. Miss Kane, Miss Murray, Miss Hove, Miss Wolf, Miss Chichester, Miss Andux, and Miss Audette, Glasgow, Gums, Farrow, Alex, Pages, Miller, and Mrs. Acera all helped bring the winners to this program.
Excellent. Excellent. I'll tell you what, I think those kids are tougher than the BMX crowd who was like really bounce on it.
I don't know what was funnier, you or them.
I'm sure.
Awesome. And first and third in state. I mean, they're all winners, but to have first and third in Oldsmar? That's awesome.
It's amazing.
We make winners.
All right, let's see, where are we at?
Listen, more people can sit down.
Next item on the agenda is the Community Redevelopment Agency. Item number 2, approved minutes from the April 25th, 2019 City Council work session on Town Center. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. Oh, Danny seconded it.
Since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item number 3, or excuse me, the next item on the agenda is a consent docket. We have one item. I will turn to, I read that last one when you were supposed to. I'm sorry, I just got on a roll.
Item number 3, approved minutes of the April 16th, 2019 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. City of Oldsmar. All right, we've got some good stuff here. Presentation of Drinking Water Proclamation. And I am going to call on Councilmember Norris for that.
Now, do I read it up here and then give it down there?
You can do it either way that you prefer.
Okay, I'll read it up. There's one tongue twister in here. Okay, so this is the Office of the Mayor, Oldsmar, Florida, Proclamation, Drinking Water Week. Whereas, water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas only tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy, and whereas any measure of a successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth and diversity, productivity, and public safety are in some way related to access to safe water. And whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend, and whereas each citizen of our city is called upon to protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water. Now, therefore,
I, Eric Seidel, the mayor of the city of Oldsmar,
Do hereby proclaim the week of May 5th to 11th, 2019 as Drinking Water Week in the city of Oldsmar and call upon all citizens and businesses to help protect our precious resource. Dated the 7th day of May 2019, Eric Seidel, Mayor.
Look like man.
got the water crew.
Sammy, Joe, and Ben.
So we have a number of staff here tonight to accept this proclamation that helped bring the drinking water to you. Well, I'll do it in order that they're standing here instead of trying to figure this out. So this is Kyle Rasmussen. He's one of our water treatment plant operators. This is Sammy Cruz. He's our chief operator at the water treatment plant. Joe Kerrigan, he's one of our distribution and operator lead, or distribution and collections leads. Benny Pugh, he is our distribution and collections supervisor. Jonna Jan, she's our utilities administrator and assistant public works director. And Sue Farrell, who does just about everything.
Really wrong.
You guys go around. So give it to one of them.
Oh, I can give it. Let's.
He makes it.
Sammy. Yeah, he makes it. Here you go. Congratulations. Do you want to do a picture? Come on. We're good. I think we're good. I don't even have to duck, they're so tall.
No, we don't need a mayor. He's the mayor.
Just like that.
Thank you.
Nice job. Nice job. All right, the next item on the agenda is the firefighter oath and presentation of Oldsmar Fire Rescue Badge. Our chief of police.
Sorry. All right.
Go ahead.
I just want to say I'm looking forward to the poems next meeting, and don't let talking and going the cop route. So. Just want to thank you for letting us share this with you in the community. We're going to be welcoming our newest member of the Oldsmar Fire Department family by him taking the firefighter oath, and he will be getting his badge officially pinned on his uniform. So if we can have JC Laverde come up. Bring your wife and your mom up too. Come on. Come on. You're gonna stand with Ann there. You want this one?
Yes, please. Thank
There you go. Just a little background with JC. Did come to us from the military. He practiced paramedicine there as well, and jumped out of high things in the air. Didn't do those together though, I don't think. So we thank him for his service there and look forward to him serving the community here. So.
Work better if you can stand over here. JC, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I, Juan Carlos Laverde,
Do solemnly pledge
do solemnly pledge
to uphold the laws and Constitution
to uphold the laws and the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the state of Florida,
the state of Florida,
and the city of Oldsmar.
and the city of Oldsmar.
I pledge to remain ever vigilant,
I pledge to remain ever vigilant,
protecting our citizens' lives,
protecting our citizens' lives,
health, homes, and property.
health, homes, and property.
I pledge to accomplish our mission
I pledge to accomplish our mission
through education,
through,
training,
through education and training,
and the commitment to accountability
and the commitment through accountability
and respect.
and respect.
I pledge to accept with honor
I pledge to accept with honor
the duties and responsibilities
the duties and responsibilities
of firefighter for Oldsmar Fire Rescue.
for firefighter for Oldsmar Fire Rescue.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
No blood.
He's a medic. It's okay.
You can take it.
I just look forward to serving this community for as long as you folks will allow me to. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We're gonna get a group picture real quick if we can get all the firefighters up here.
Ping pong one more time. It's not gonna be a
Quick.
Come on, I thought you were supposed to move fast. Let's
Chop,
go.
chop.
Chop, chop. Yeah.
Just
Let's go.
years and you got months. Wow.
It's nice that y'all come out to support, you know?
That's awesome.
You want me to stand? Oh my God. You guys gotta squeeze it.
Jason's gotta get in the front. Jason in the front.
Short people in the front.
Wow. Well, that goes. You guys are here, I'm okay. Stop running down. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. It's a huge honor, and we're really excited to have you here. The next item on the agenda, item number 6, is presentation of EMS Proclamation. I call on Councilmember McGee to present. Vice Mayor.
One and the same. Office of the Mayor, Oldsmar, Florida Proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services are a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Gabby McGee, Vice Mayor of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, stand-in of Eric Seidel, Mayor of the City of Oldsmar, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th to the 25th, 2019 as Emergency Medical Services Week with the theme EMS Strong, Stronger Together. I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities dated this day, the 7th day of May, 2019.
I do just want to say that doesn't count as her poem. For next week. I'm gonna have Dave accept this. He's our EMS coordinator, does a lot of the training, planning, and make sure all of our certifications are up to date. So.
Thank you.
You hear Deb start to panic as he walks away.
Thank you. Okay.
Congratulations. The next item on the agenda, item number 7, presentation of Women's Club of Oldsmar Day Proclamation. Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just before I read this, I just wanted to take a second. I wasn't able to go today, but today was a celebration of life for the husband of one of our very, very special members. Kay Wolf lost her husband, Larry, unexpectedly. He's father to Russ, Jeff, and Mitzi, and a grandfather to Cody, Maggie, Austin, and Brandon. So we're thinking about her tonight. The proclamation. Whereas the Women's Club of Oldsmar charter meetings began May 20th, 1919. The first meeting was in the home of Mrs. J.H. Thompson, president. And whereas the Women's Club of Oldsmar established the first library in 1919 with donated books kept in their homes. Many women volunteered over the years until the city of Oldsmar took over the library function in 1976. And whereas R.E. Olds donated land and a house built in 1918 at 207 Exeter Street, with the understanding that it was to be used as the Women's Club house and library. In 1997, the house and land were deeded over to the city of Oldsmar, who renovated the historic building. And whereas the Women's Club of Oldsmar is the oldest civic organization in Oldsmar, meetings are held on the second Tuesday of every month from September to May. The Women's Club of Oldsmar is a not-for-profit club maintaining funding for their needs and wants by fundraisers and donations. And whereas the motto of the Women's Club is to serve the city of Oldsmar by providing volunteer service to the underserved populations in our community, fostering social opportunities for their members, and celebrating the history and traditions of Oldsmar. Now, therefore, I, Katie Gannon, on behalf of our Mayor, Eric Seidel, do hereby proclaim Monday, May 20th, 2019, 100 years later, as Women's Club of Oldsmar Day in the city, and congratulate its members for 100 years of wonderful existence and wish them many more. Dated this 7th day of May. Proud to be a member of this organization. I do want to recognize that our officers are here tonight. Treasurer Jessica Opid, our secretary, Linda Wells, and our president, Mary Ann Cruz. Oh, and our vice president, Linda. Hey, Anderson, too. Come on. How did you sneak in? I didn't even see you. And we grab this. I believe our president has a small gift to offer.
Yes, I have a small gift to the city council and a special gift for our mayor. I will hand out the gifts to the city clerks also. Excuse me.
As you can see, one of our colors is red. We also have the, what's it called? Marigold. Marigold. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
So
Thank you, Mary Ann.
I tried. I had a little bit.
All right, you two in blue. We got to break you up. We got to break you up.
So much.
I'll come down.
Hiding because he doesn't want to be in the photo.
Thank you.
Gabby,
Thank you.
did you put Katie's over there?
I will.
There's a special gift for you.
Thank you.
I wanted just picture
Real close, real close. We had those made for our Super Bowl party, which promises to be an annual event.
There you go.
Look for the super party again. I'm sure.
Eric Amber's gonna get real excited about that. Hey, BB.
Cheerleader thing. Lean forward.
It's pretty good. Like a t-shirt. Cool.
Ginger, Eric is the cutest thing. His little dance. So cute.
I needed you back.
I know.
Well, we have had a lot of important groups here tonight. Have you noticed that? Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, number 8, consider financial support of Warrior Games held in Tampa. And Councilmember Norris added that to the agenda, so I will turn it over to her.
I'll start out with a little video. Councilmember Gannon and Councilmember McGee had asked for some more information. Colonel Harbaugh did come and do a presentation earlier this year before Katie and I were on council, but it's been some time. And so we just have a little 3-minute video of last year's so you can see kind of what it's about. And then I have a little bit that I want to go over. I don't want to make it too long. So if we could watch the video, please.
Prince Harry's headline-making tour of America, the always colorful royal is helping kick off the Warrior Games for wounded service members in Colorado. He'll spend another day in the Rockies before heading back east to tour damage from last year's Superstorm Sandy in New Jersey. And ABC's Rachel Smith has the story.
Did you add that? I didn't know Prince.
Prince Harry and Olympic gold medal swimmer Missy Franklin joined together to light the torch Saturday at the Warrior Games. A Paralympics competition for wounded vets from U.S. and U.K. Armed Forces. Harry, a twice deployed captain in the British Army Air Corps, got in on the game as well, or at least attempted.
He not only served his country, but he's here to support us. I mean, he came halfway across the world, you know, to come over here and to pay tribute to the veterans.
The Colorado festivities added to the string of events recognizing and supporting wounded veterans on the Prince's 7-day stateside itinerary, saying he was compelled to do more than traditional publicity appearances.
A year ago, I was in Washington on the ambassador's lawn to plant a tree, which is what most of our family do nowadays.
Harry met with the athletes before the competition.
He was very easy to talk to. I didn't feel nervous, actually. I think he was very down to earth.
Earlier in the week, the 28-year-old made the rounds on Capitol Hill, even attended a White House event hosted by First Lady Michelle Obama and Dr. Jill Biden, honoring military mothers. He also boosted morale of those injured at Walter Reed Medical Center and paid respect to the fallen at Arlington National Cemetery. The Prince will take in more events today at the Warrior Games. Then he makes his way back to the East Coast with stops scheduled right here in New York City and New Jersey, with just enough time to squeeze in a round of polo, benefiting his African-based charity in Connecticut. Bianna.
You know, speaking in television terms, I'd say he has a high.
Okay, I guess that was a happy accident. It was about the Warrior Games in 2018, but the one that I had sent that I thought was going to be.
That is the one you sent. That's, I forwarded you.
Okay, something happened. It was basically showing a lot of, I apologize for, I sent him the one that I got from Ann, and I guess something happened. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because basically it is Wounded Warriors, teams from all over the country, coming to Tampa, and the video that I had showed last year's, and it showed the size of the crowds, and it showed the athletes playing in the different sports, and then it showed them getting their medals at the end. So it's a wonderful organization. And
I'm going to ask you to hold up for a moment. I believe that he found the correct video.
That's it.
So why don't we go ahead and run that?
Okay.
So you're doing a good job over there, but I understand it's not what you planned. So.
I just got a little flustered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome the athletes of the 2018 Warrior Games.
that's if you'll afford me a few more minutes, I'd like to go over a few bits of research that I came up with. Thank you. There are, in the military, there's Gold Star families, Blue Star families, and Silver Star families. Blue Star families are those of us that have military that are actively serving in the military or that have served. Those are Blue Star families. Silver Star families are the wounded. Gold Star families, we have one in the audience. They're the ones that have lost someone in active duty. The Silver Star families, there are a lot more of them than you would think. The data that I came up with, when I got these reports from the office of Congressman Gus Bilirakis, I couldn't even get through the first report without crying, and I had to stop. And it took me a couple of tries to get through the reports. I'm not going to go over all of them. I have them if anybody's interested in really getting down to it, but let me just tell you a couple things. The number of veterans nationally is close to 20 million. The number of veterans in the state of Florida is 1.5 million. The number of disabled veterans nationally is 4.5 million. That means 22.7% of our veterans in this country are disabled. 4.5 million. The state of Florida, we have 348,567. So 22.8% of our veterans in the state of Florida are disabled. These are all Silver Star families. Their mothers, their fathers, their husbands, their wives. The percentage of adult populations that are veterans, nationwide, 6.6% of our population are veterans. In the state of Florida, we have 9.7. The percentage of adult population in Pinellas County that are veterans, we have 9%. So that's a lot. And this wasn't in the reports, but this I know from Colonel Harbaugh. The present war that we're in right now, Afghanistan, is the longest war in the country's history. It started in October of 2001, and it's still going on. When I was growing up, the Vietnam War was going on, and it was on TV all the time. We have a war going on, and most people don't hear about it, other than the veterans' families. So as of 2019, we have 1.4 million active duty service members in the United States, and the US population is 328.7 million. So it shows you that it's less than 1% that protect us. This is because of combat medicine. There's so many advances. So there's more people that are injured because their lives are being saved, but it adds to the wounded veterans that we have. So in the entire war of Afghanistan, we have lost 6,000 heroes. Yet when you look at these statistics of the suicide rates, we're losing 6,000 a year, and it's increased. Now we're up to 20 to 22 a day. That's 8,000 a year. That's per year we're losing. A program like the Wounded Warriors gives them a reason to be proud. It gives them, I won't keep going. I have more, but I don't want to, I don't want to get too far into that because I just wanted to point it out. People just don't know. They don't know that our first responders, suicide rates are higher, that our military are higher, 1.5 times higher than Americans that's never served. So anyway, if anybody's interested in one of these little data sheets, I printed more out and I can, email them to you because I did a lot of research on this. I studied this.
Councilman, council member, would you like to make a motion?
I want to read one more thing.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So the city of Oldsmar is a proud supporter of veterans, and I wanted to end on a high note.
Perfect.
Okay. So the high note is that Florida is the most veteran-friendly of all states in the nation, based on tax incentives, based on employment, based on the different classes and everything else. We have the most beautiful veterans park in the state, and I do have on here, okay, that's my opinion, but I believe it. Our new VFW post, number 12186, was just chartered this month, and we're a Purple Heart city, which there's only 17.47% of the cities in the state of Florida are Purple Heart cities. That's it. So that makes us unique. There's only 2 other in Pinellas County, Seminole and Dunedin. So that makes us very veteran friendly. We have the only Gold Star family dedicated bridge in the state, one in the state, that's it. And we have a very well-respected, active, and engaged Veterans Advisory Board. So this is respectfully submitted by me, and I would like to make a motion that, and another question was, what do they want to use the money for? They want to use the money for a wheelchair ramp to get up to the stage, and we'd like to for no additional charge, we're going to decorate it all in red, white, and blue if we get it. So the motion is to the tune of $2,500 to support the Warrior Games. And it can't be sponsorship levels because it's the Department of Defense. It's supporting it. Obviously, they can't take sponsorships. So my motion is for us to approve $2,500 in support of the Warrior Games. That's going to be in Tampa between June 21st and June 30th.
There's a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Sounds like a great cause, so. $2,500 doesn't seem like an excessive amount, although I would prefer we go through the procedure for budgeting, but.
Councilman Saraki, any comments?
I think it's a great idea. I have no problem with it.
Okay. My only comment, I support this. I think I told you that the other night, but when we were here at the council meeting, let me clarify that, Tom.
Thank you.
I do believe, though, it's important for us to stay to our appropriations process when we're doing something and making a contribution or support. This is a unique situation, so maybe this is a great example of when we break stride from what the norm is. I'd just say to everybody, in the future, if there's something else, there's got to be a really compelling reason why it would go out of the normal range, okay? All right, Sitchin, you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I say something?
She missed Citizens Open Forum.
You're really a little prerogative here in the chair.
My name is Tony Gross, 711 Oldsmar. I do want to thank each of you for passing that. But I spoke to Colonel Harbaugh's wife, Danny Harbaugh, on Sunday. She had served for 26 years. And she said, if you get the chance, please make sure everyone gets this in their heart and gets it in their brain. FITS, which is FITS, Fans in the Stands. So in addition to this generous donation to build a handicap ramp, that's going to be decorated red, white, and blue, and I think the words Oldsmar should be written somewhere on that ramp so that they know who provided that, a promotion for Oldsmar.
I didn't get the okay for that yet. I have to ask Colonel Harbaugh if that's going to be okay.
I think we can get it.
Okay. Yeah. I would like that. I didn't want to bring it up until I knew for sure, but I left him a message today.
I also checked out that weekend, and I'm going to be in town. I think we should maybe work together as a council and maybe go.
I think it'd be nice.
All of us work together
Opening
on that.
ceremonies is the 22nd. That would be good if y'all are in town for that.
22nd.
22nd.
If you noticed, it was pretty glaring on that video. The bleachers were pretty empty, I believe.
Some of them were packed.
Some of them were, but most of them were empty. So I believe that Tampa Bay, and especially Oldsmar, can get those bleachers filled. So remember, FITS, Fans in the Stands. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is item number 8A. I added this item. So just a little bit of background. We rotate with both Tarpon Springs and Safety Harbor the term for PSTA representation. And so Doug, Mayor Beavis was just it, and I think the term got changed to a 3-year term. And he left as he came out of office, I guess. So I went to Tarpon. Tarpon had a hard time with their appointee being able to make the meetings. It then went to Safety Harbor, and Safety Harbor is having a hard time finding someone. They opened the opportunity to us. And so I would like to present Councilmember Saraki's name for consideration to fill that position. It works really well. It's a 3-year position. He's in 3 years and, kind of the senior guy at this point, so.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd be honored. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
Do you need a motion?
I do need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
All for it.
Thank you, guys.
All in favor
Thank you.
signify by saying, go Dan.
Go Dan.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank
All
you.
opposed, motion passes.
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I served on that board. It's a good board. It's important, and it's important that we have representation up there, especially when some of the budget cuts are coming regarding, routes that go through Oldsmar and that type of thing. So
I'm on it.
you'll be on it. Good job. All right, city attorney,
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
outstanding report. City manager.
9 is authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance annexing 3124 Phoenix Avenue in West Oldsmar, Section 1, Block 9, Lot 13, or parcel ID 22-28-16-9660-009-0130 into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar. Little background, the property is a single-family home. This is a request from the property owner to annex a property containing approximately 0.34 acres into the corporate limits of Oldsmar. Property is located, as I previously mentioned, parcel is contiguous to the Oldsmar municipal boundaries and city services are available to the parcel. Access is available from Phoenix Avenue to State Road 580. Based on the above discussion, by the way, the planning board, which is part of the process, also recommended approval. Based on the above discussion, staff recommends that City Council authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance annexing West Oldsmar Section 1, Block 9, Lot 13.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Or a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
To get water.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 10 is authorize the city attorney to prepare another ordinance annexing 3192 Phoenix Avenue, West Oldsmar, Section 1, Block 10, Lot 12, or parcel ID 22-28-16-9660-010-0120 into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar. Same background there in that it's a developed single-family home. This is a request from the property owner to annex a property containing approximately 0.23 acres into the corporate limits of Oldsmar. The property is located in West Oldsmar. As I previously mentioned, the parcel is contiguous to the Oldsmar municipal boundaries, and city services are available to the parcel. Access is available this time from Phoenix Avenue to State Road 580. Again, the planning board has recommended approval, and based on the above discussion, staff recommends that City Council authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance annexing West Oldsmar, Section 1, Block 10, Lot 12.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
No second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 11 is authorize the city attorney to prepare ordinances for LUZ 19-01, West Oldsmar Properties number 15, which is a combination of 5 single-family lots, to amend the land use amendment from Pinellas County designation of residential low-medium to City of Oldsmar designation of residential urban, and rezoning from county zoning designation of R4, which stands for 1, 2, and 3 family residential district, to city zoning designation of R3, which stands for residential 2 and 3 family district. A little background there, the current land use and zoning designations reflect unincorporated Pinellas County designations prior to annexation into the city. These were grouped purposely, and these properties have already been annexed. We're in the process here of adopting county to city land use changes. They're not required by Florida statute, nor is required by the countywide rules. City of Oldsmar policy for annexations is to establish city land use and zoning designations on properties once they are annexed. The land use and rezoning will result in consistency with the City of Oldsmar land use and zoning. As I mentioned before, this is 5 single-family lots. Subject properties are Block 16, Lot 13, Block 17, Lot 19, Block 18, Lots 6, 7, and 15 of West Oldsmar Section 1. Again, the planning board has recommended approval and recommended that City Council authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance amending the land use from county designation of residential low-medium to City of Oldsmar designation of residential urban.
So moved.
Do I have a motion?
I second.
So moved? Did you move?
I did.
All right, second?
Yep.
Second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 12 is authorize the city attorney to prepare ordinances for LUZ 19-02, West Oldsmar Properties number 16, which are 2 multifamily lots to amend the land use from Pinellas County designation of residential low medium to the City of Oldsmar designation of residential urban and rezone from county designation of R3, which stands for residential 2 and 3 family district, to the city zoning designation of R2, which stands for the residential single family district. Again, these are properties that have already been annexed. There are 2 lots, specifically Block 9, Lot 17, and Block 10, Lot 8 of West Oldsmar, Section Number 1, adopting county to city land use changes, as I mentioned before, are not required, but the City of Oldsmar policy for annexations is to establish city land use and zoning designations on properties once they are annexed. Again, the planning board has recommended approval and recommended that city council authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance amending the land use from county designation of residential low medium to City of Oldsmar designation of residential urban.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Discussion, seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor. You'll see all 4 of those items when the city attorney prepares the respective ordinances. Item 13 is approve work order number 3 from 2018-007 RFQ to King Engineering Associates Incorporated for the Water Reclamation Facility Administration Control Building Conceptual Design. The existing control building at the city's WRF plant was constructed in 1973 and houses many critical functions to the continuous operation of the wastewater treatment plant, including the main electrical equipment, motor control center, plant controls, laboratory, and offices. WRF is located in the 100-year floodplain, and the preliminary FEMA flood maps and city codes indicate any new structures will need to be built to a minimum finished floor elevation of 13 feet. Public Works staff has negotiated a scope of work and lump sum fee of $58,276 with King Engineering Associates to develop a conceptual design criteria, and a conceptual level engineering's opinion of probable construction cost for a new 2-story administration building to meet flood constraints. The work will consist of the preliminary engineering required to construct a new building, in addition to the essential task of keeping the facility operating during construction, which will be the hard part, a resiliency analysis to ensure the facility can be operated during extreme weather, supportive green building standards with consideration of city architectural conformity. The project is budgeted in the capital improvement budget in Fund 401, and staff recommends approval.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
Overdue. Excited.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Item
They're going to use green building standards. Got to
Yeah.
throw that in there. Got to throw that in there.
Thank you, Mayor. We've addressed item 14, which you brought up to the beginning of the meeting. So item 15 is approved contract 2019-002-RFP with the Gehring Group to provide benefits consulting services. At the December 4th, 2018 City Council meeting, Council authorized the city manager to advertise 2019-002, an RFP for benefits consulting services. At the March 19th, 2019 City Council meeting, Council accepted the ranking of proposals and authorized the city manager to negotiate an agreement for the 2019-002 RFP for benefits consulting services. Following Council approval at the March 19th, 2019 meeting, the city manager initiated negotiations with the top-ranked firm and the incumbent, the Gehring Group. The resulting contract, which identifies specific tasks to be performed along with the associated cost, is presented here for council approval. Approval of this contract will also serve as authorization for the consultant to seek proposals on the city's behalf for the city's employee health insurance for fiscal year 2019-2020. The consulting fees will be paid by the insurance providers in the form of a percentage of insurance premiums, and therefore will not be presented as a line item in the upcoming annual budget. Staff recommends approval. Sean Fleming from the Gehring Group is here if the council has any questions.
Let me get a motion first. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. But thank you for being here anyway.
He's a pilot, by the way, but his plane crapped out, so he drove. Thank you, Sean. Just sidebar, we've had a relationship with the Gehring Group for years, and they're wonderful. Look at us, well done.
There you go.
Item 16, Adopt Resolution 2019-07 and authorize city officials to execute the Economic Development Transportation Fund Agreement, which is essentially a time extension with the Florida Department of Transportation for the construction of Phase 1, finally, of the Douglas Road Burbank Road Improvement Project. The 2016 Florida legislature adopted legislation which allocated funds to improve Douglas Road, Burbank Road, to alleviate transportation impediments and enhance the economic development of the surrounding area. The Burbank Road extension represents the first phase of a multi-year project to improve transportation in this vicinity. Approximately 1,200 feet of Burbank Road, north of the CSX Transportation Railroad, is unimproved. This project will extend the improved roadway north across the CSX Transportation right-of-way to Douglas Road, provide stormwater improvements, sidewalk, and extend sanitary sewer to parcels along the currently unimproved section of Burbank Road. December 2016, the Oldsmar City Council adopted Resolution 2016-15 and entered into Economic Development Fund Transportation Agreement, contract number G0I43 with the Florida Department of Transportation for the appropriation of $1.5 million of state funds for the completion of the project. In September 2017, the contract timeline was extended by FDOT in response to delays related to the relocation of a Florida gas and transmission pipeline to resolve a utility conflict that was discovered during the design. This is essentially an FDOT time extension so that the delays do not eliminate us from being eligible for the funds, and it does involve a resolution, which I'd like to read now. Entitled only Resolution 2019-07, a resolution of the City Council of Oldsmar, Florida, approving the form of an Economic Development Transportation Project Fund Agreement time extension, parentheses, extension agreement, authorizing the execution and delivery of the extension agreement by the city manager and providing for an effective date. That concludes the reading of Resolution 2019-07.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Sensing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
Shovel that dirt.
Yeah, that's taking forever. On the day.
The end is in sight.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 17 is adopt Resolution 2019-08, post-issuance compliance policy in connection with the issuance of tax-exempt debt obligations, which we recently closed on. On March 11th, 2019, the City of Oldsmar closed on council-approved $6 million tax-exempt bank loan, also known as a BQ, to fund portions of the Harbor Palms Infrastructure Improvement Project. In order to maintain preferential tax exemption status, the debt issue is subject to certain federal tax law requirements, both upon issuance of the debt and on an ongoing basis for the life of the obligation. The post-issuance compliance requirements are substantial, and the Internal Revenue Service now monitors issuers for having a post-issuance compliance policy. This policy has been administratively adopted to meet those requirements. However, staff wishes to formally adopt the policy via Resolution 2019-08 to memorialize the document due to the importance and complexity of the policy. Upon adoption, this document will become part of the city's administrative policy manual. The resolution and policy have been approved by both the city's bond counsel, Bryant Miller Olive, and the city attorney's office. Resolution 2019, I'd like to read, 2019-08, by title only. A resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, adopting a post-issuance compliance policy for tax-exempt obligations and providing for an effective date. Mayor, that concludes the reading of Resolution 2019-08, and thank you. I had something to say, but I'll wait.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second
Somebody
that.
make a motion. Sorry, second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, I'd like to just say that this is why I love living in this city. This is a perfect example of why we are #1 with the Florida League of Cities, the Suncoast League of Cities. This is a perfect example. Thank you, Al, for your team for your hard work.
Well, there you go.
I think Cindy might be Superwoman or Wonder Woman, whichever her preference. But her and her team are
Any other comments?
doing a great job.
Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
And Mayor, my comment was that for those of you that read this thing thoroughly, it looks like Cindy has volunteered for a bunch of new things officially that she's already doing.
Yeah.
That Al put it in a nutshell for me. Certifies that we commit to follow the rules.
Right.
God bless you.
Getting more and
Can I
more
sneeze?
fun. Item 18
Allergies.
Authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations with Simone Development and Management Company for the possible development of a hotel on city-owned property. Mayor and council, as you know, the agenda item in its form is identical to the one that you had last council meeting. However, we received some written documentation which was requested from Mr. Simone for this meeting, and I believe everybody has a copy. So at this point, I don't really have a recommendation other than we'd want to have the conversation surrounding this graphic presentation of what he hopes to build.
Okay. Would you like to make a presentation? And I'm going to remind everyone, what we're voting on is nothing more than, we're not approving a site plan. What we're voting on is allowing our city manager to engage. So, with that.
Good. Can everyone hear me?
Sure.
I've been dying to actually get back up here since last city council when we got tabled. So I know the first thing.
Can I get you to state your name and your address, please, for the record?
So my name is Eric Simone. My father, Paul Simone, and I'm here with my architect, David Walls Jr. And we're here to present for the hotel, the boutique hotel that we have in mind for the city town center. Really quick, before we dive deep into it, I just want to give a brief overview on who we are and how we came to be. Back in 2005, when Oldsmar was just known as a farmland and an ice arena, we approached Jeff Beaverland and said, we'd like to build a hotel in Oldsmar. And he said, I got the perfect spot for you guys. I could say that 100% of the people we knew in the Bay Area thought we were insane for coming to Oldsmar to dare build a hotel there. Why on earth would we? Today, Tampa Road is what it is today because of what we've done. It led to multiple hotels, led to people coming in, businesses, and we feel that we would like to help Oldsmar grow to that next level. Now, what we do have in mind is, last quick brief background, we have over 25 plus years of experience in development, over $150 million worth of construction. We've built over 900 rooms, and also, yeah, I understand there's the fear of just sticking another hotel there. Since 2008 has come around, boutique hotels are emerging all across the United States. The last hotel we did build was a franchise in Lutz, but it was a more sleek, modern, because that's what was in. Now, today's day and era, it's boutique, personal design, flair of what the city's known for, and that's what we would like to present to the city, you guys. So ideally, this is just a basic concept. Idea would be a themed boutique hotel with a rooftop bar. There's nowhere else in Pinellas County other than downtown St. Petersburg and Clearwater Beach that has something to offer like this. By starting off with a boutique hotel, we would drive in more people that are going to be interested coming to this area to adding towards this community. We had in mind other ideas. Again, it's just a concept of adding a food hall because no one else in Pinellas County has done it. And we want to create that urban environment for this area. And yeah, there's Safety Harbor, there's Dunedin, but we want to do what Oldsmar's doing. That is our goal. And that's what we want to do because Oldsmar, once upon a time ago, was recognized of what it's become. And now it's time for us to bring it to the next step. And we would like to do it with you guys. Since we helped founded Oldsmar, we would like to take it to the next step and be part of it. So the concept of our boutique hotel would be on the corner, rooftop bar, urban style living community, walkable restaurant. I mentioned everything. There's been other ideas of what to put there. You know, we thought about artistic walls to make it not a Kodak capturing moment anymore. It's now called Instagram capturing moment to really drive people there. And nothing else attracts more than a place to stay at a boutique community hotel, which, from my understanding, we have a large history here of automobiles.
We do. Are you finished?
Yeah, I mean, scroll through the slides. I mean, our concept is revolutionary to this area. This is what we need. This is what everyone else is doing, but nobody in Pinellas County has created a walkable, true urban lifestyle environment with outdoor bars that's walkable. You can listen to music outside. Yeah, again, there's Dunedin, but that's just a street with a bunch of restaurants, a couple bars. Same concept of Safety Harbor. We want to create a staple mark here that everyone around the world is going to say, we want to do what Oldsmar did. Look what Oldsmar did. Can we be Armature Works? We can't, but we need to make a staple name out there that's saying, look what Oldsmar's doing. Look what Oldsmar's doing. Because now word around is, look what Armature Works is. Look what Armature Works is. It would be our idea to get in there, purge our way through there and say, this is what Oldsmar's doing. And this is what Oldsmar did. Again, just to propose drawings. A rooftop bar to me is very important. Very modern, trendy, hips, artsy, call it.
Mm-hmm. There were some on the council who thought it should be even higher up, but that's a whole other.
Ideally, it would be just enough to see a water view where you can see sunsets.
Be 9 stories for that.
Yeah. All right, so if you're done, what I'm gonna do is before we get into any discussion or any questions, I'm gonna entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations with Simone Development Management Company.
Motion to approve.
Motion made.
I'll second that.
Second, discussion.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you want me to go first? Okay, I have one quick question. In the report that I read, you're asking for 1 acre. Do you feel that this size hotel will be large enough for just 1 acre of land?
Hi, David Wallace Jr., architect, 542 Douglas Avenue, Dunedin, 34698. The answer to that is yes, as long as the zoning is proper for the room count. The contemplated number of rooms is 90 to 100 rooms, and we want to make sure that it's clear that we've got to have a designation for enough density to allow for that quantity of rooms on a 1 acre parcel. It's doable in a master plan development sort of scenario, but that would be the one condition.
Yeah, that would be part of what the city manager gets involved in.
Right. I was just curious.
Yeah.
My main question is parking. So the proposal here or the motion here is to let Al enter into negotiation. So we're not approving anything other than letting Al enter into negotiations.
That's correct.
Okay, because it seems like this is going to be contingent on a parking garage because 1 acre is absolutely not enough for both of those things. So that's my main question is, I saw in your letter that you proposed to possibly purchase some parking spots in a parking garage that we might potentially build. Is that what you were thinking, or future lease of more land? So parking is my main question.
So an idea of an urban living community, we need to decrease the amount of cars as possible where everywhere is walkable. Now, ideally to fit this all in, it would need a parking garage. Boutique hotels only offers valet parking because it gives that upscale matter, the upscale, the uniqueness, the special place of it all. So we would need part into the parking garage. Ideally, we wouldn't want to do parking on the side of the hotel just because it's going to add more traffic, and we want to avoid that as much as possible because we want this to be full on urban walking.
Just all be in the negotiations.
It would be because, the development agreement actually and the
That's all gonna
codes
be in
and
the
everything else is gonna automatically flesh all that out.
And one more question. Is that the actual design of what you're thinking? I'm just curious. Is the sketches, or is that just like a sketch to let us know this is where you want to put it and everything?
It's to say where we want to put it, where we think it makes the most sense.
Okay.
And a general arrangement for the site so that the overall development takes a shape that's very walkable and pedestrian friendly.
Okay, thank you.
A few questions. What would be the proposed number of stories for that kind of density that you'd be looking for?
I'm sorry?
What would be the proposed number of stories of the hotel?
One of the renderings indicates a little bit about the number of floors. I think we're talking about 7 or 8 stories.
So that's a little bit higher than I think.
How many?
7 or 8. I think that's a little bit higher than we had said.
The developer has also made clear that if it's necessary to purchase more land in order to achieve the project goals, he's certainly willing to entertain that.
Okay.
Right answer.
To keep it to 6.
And just some other things to keep in mind, but it seems like you guys touched on a few of those things about boutique hotels, you know, the intimateness of it, the character, the individuality. I like the valet parking because I think that agrees that it's upscale and that's really what the appeal is. I would make some other suggestions just to keep in mind is the high tech. You know, obviously, if you want to appeal to clients of Nielsen and Lockheed, you know, so I think some of the things that we saw at the Fenway that were really neat that I haven't seen before at any other hotel is they have the Amazon Echoes in all the rooms where you actually order your room service through them. And I'm like, why has anybody else thought of that before? So I think they did a really good job integrating those high-tech capabilities. I think it's important, you mentioned the concept of a food hall. I think that's a great idea because especially since it's land that we own as a city, which obviously is owned by the taxpayers, there need to be elements that are open to the public. So whether that's a restaurant, a coffee shop, a food hall, a rooftop deck, you know, we don't want it to be just a place for tourists and visitors. We want it to be open to, you know, the public, co-working, those kinds of things, spaces within it. So just keep those things in mind as you pursue these negotiations with the city manager. I would appreciate it.
No, correct. You're absolutely right on that. It should not be, you know, accessible only to hotel guests. It should be open to anyone that wants to come there and be part of the environment and be out and about on what's going on.
Great, thank you.
Katie?
My questions were actually already answered. My main question was about the parking issue, as Councilmember Norris brought up. The remainder of my questions are more site plan related, so I'm not really going to get into those now at this time. I think those points have been made already, though. But I don't have a problem with the motion as it stands.
All right, so there's a motion and a second. Sensing there's no more discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch. Thank you, Mayor. Item 19 is authorize city manager to enter into negotiations with DFMAR LLC for the possible development of the city-owned property located immediately east of City Hall. As you mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, this is a new agenda item. And same kind of rules here. Francisca Semch, who's the principal for DFMAR LLC, provided a letter with his intent, with some detail as to what he was thinking of building, and supplied a conceptual site plan as requested. That's all part of your agenda item. And Mr. Semch is here if council would like to have a discussion.
Francisco, would you like to make any kind of presentation?
Francisco Semch, manager principal of DFMAR, 6912 West Limbo Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33615. They have the graphics and
Yes.
okay. Like the letter of intent said, you know, pretty much it's a master development, which include all the different components that I described in the letter. Approximately, it's around a little bit more than 500,000 square feet of development, including the parking garage. So it includes a parking garage surrounded by apartments, retail in the first floor, a hotel, a mixed-use building per se, one office building, and a place for a brewery and outdoor space. And at the same time has a obelisk, a landmark. With the concept right now is to have a little bit of an Oldsmar museum around it. The concept. It's pretty graphic, but. Oh, by the way, Daniel Fasciuto, one of the partners is DFMAR. It's going to be a little difficult, maybe if you can.
Sure.
There's always been the idea to have some kind of landmark for the city of Oldsmar, in that corner of I-80 and State Street is ideal for it. So there's going to be some kind of obelisk concept, but in contemporary states, like a potential steel structure with perforated metal panels created some kind of illusion of an obelisk. But at the base, we'll have 4 glass boxes with 4 Oldsmobiles on it, like a display museum with plaza in the middle and surrounding, so people can walk around, can have benches, trees, and will be another type of entertainment for visitors, locals, but at the same time, it will be some relaxing place to go and sit also. So that's kind of the component of it. The objective is to have 600 cars in the parking garage and around potentially 100 to 200 on streets in order to service all the amenities and the different components of the development.
Very good.
Very much.
All right. So before we get into any questions, I would like to entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Discussion. We're going to start at this end.
This side first.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, forgot the most important part. A 30,000 square foot park surrounded by all these amenities, and it's with the focal point which will create the heart of downtown Oldsmar. And we have the location of the hotel in front of the park for a lot of reasons, and one is to give another important focal point and view to the hotel to have more attractiveness to whoever is going to be the hotel owner and developer of it. And we have another component that we have talked since a couple of years ago. We wanted to have a food incubator, creative food incubators in the park also, a few stands, that there will be an exploration of different foods that can be there for 6 months temporary until they become very attractive to the public, or they can move to a retail space. And at the same time, it will have some kind of a amenity that is going to be new every 6 months of different people that want to explore into the food business, and they have the opportunity to be exposed to all the pedestrian, all the flow traffic that's going to happen in this urban setting. And that will be another attractive point for Oldsmar.
I think we've got a good idea of the concept, which is all we're really trying to get out of this discussion. But thank you. Questions?
My only question was about the timing. Is the intention to develop this property first or the property next to the library first, or is it simultaneous?
It depends on the approval. We have the backup and the interest for the housing to be developed at the same time. And I think it will be important to do it because of precisely the parking garage, which is a key component for both developments.
Gabby?
That was my only question.
Yeah, I had a similar question about just timing and capability to do both if needed at the same time. And I also think that the library development could be a big catalyst for what we want to do downtown as well. And I like the food incubator idea. I think that's something similar that Lake Nona just did over in Orlando. If you look that up, you might see something or get some inspiration there. They do like sort of these shipping containers like Sparkman Wharf, but it's like a monthly lease, and you can get new food incubators in there regularly just to kind of keep it new and fresh. But yeah, I'm open to continuing the conversation with the city manager.
Another element in the master plan is the pedestrian promenade that you see in between the parking garage, the hotel, and the mixed-use buildings. We tend to bring the buildings closer to have that urban intimacy of all the pedestrians going to the different stores back and forth in both sides of the streets. Besides, we're planning to cut the parking garage almost in the middle, create an alley, a surprise factor of encounter and explore other stores inside that area that will be open. It's going to be bridges. I worked in a project like that a long time ago for the Orlando parking garage. We have that on that area. So, and then we'll be connected to a plaza on the other side also.
Very good. Councilmember Siraki.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question. Al, this is a question for Al, are you in negotiations with him now on the St. Petersburg project? How's that going currently?
We meet for the first time tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, then the other question I have is, I feel that the St. Petersburg project that you're working on currently, that you're meeting with Al tomorrow, that is going to take up a lot of your time. And a couple of things that we talked about in our workshop that I thought were important that we, as a council, agreed upon is maybe just doing parcels of each of this particular property, parcels like a hotel first, and then maybe moving to the garage later, or maybe something else later. So I'm not sure, I'm having a hard time comprehending how you're gonna do the St. Petersburg project and this project all at the same time with financing.
The financing is there.
It's a lot of money.
Yes. We're talking about 80 to 90 million both together.
Okay.
Good question.
Just trying to look at the big picture. You know, I'm a big picture guy, as I said in the meeting, and I'm trying to look at that property in St. Petersburg Drive, and I'm trying to look at that property in the presentation we just saw before with the boutique hotel, and trying to just picture it all together, and I'm a little concerned.
Well, either way, they need support to each other. One component will help the other one to happen. One by itself, it's gonna be very difficult to happen. So this type of project has a complexity, and they all interrelated. It's very difficult to break it down unless you have a commitment to spend the infrastructure and the parking garage and a lot of stuff up front and wait till the next ones to come along. If that you have that commitment, you can go ahead and do it. But my point of view is if you're going to do a master plan and develop this type of town center that has the support system in place, the infrastructure, all the utilities and everything that will support them in a cost-effective way, you know, there's a few ways of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done in any way. It's always cost. How cost-effective it is to do in different ways. If there was no other options, absolutely, you have to start in some way and find a way to feed the needs of a hotel or a building, an office building, to provide parking garage for other type of parking. You know, it can be done in different ways. These are just, you guys have two options, or maybe one combined, or the two, you know. The objective is to bring to Oldsmar, you know, this type of development. We've been talking for 15 years now.
So Mayor, we're gonna be voting on just him negotiating with the city manager on that property.
That's correct.
That's all we're gonna be talking about.
That's all the vote is for.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilman Norris?
Well, there's a benefit to going last, because a lot of my questions are already answered. Because I had some of the exact same questions. So this isn't the actual site plan that you're proposing. You just want to go into negotiations, and then you're going to go from there. Is that correct, or is this the actual site plan that you like?
That is the actual site plan.
This is the site plan that you like, okay.
Concept plan. Concept plan.
Concept plan, okay. It was, maybe I'm wrong about this, which could be, but was the property just between City Hall and 580 part of the property, Al? Part of the parcel?
It was not part of what I had appraised. It has been part of previous conversations we've had about development.
Okay. So I guess the only question that I have left is another parking question. Since we're taking away parking from City Hall employees, are they going to be expected to park in the parking garage on this site plan?
There's around 100 parking spaces around the park. So you got facing the
there's
city
100
around
the park?
30-something cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That the
that's
city
those
can use
little
during the
lines.
day,
Yeah.
during the week.
So that piece is included. Okay, that's it. 'Cause- Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, sensing there's no other questions, my only comment is we're not approving a site plan. We've all said it a few times. We're just, you know, this is going to become, hopefully, a reoccurring theme where there are more people who are interested. Of course, you know, creating more competition. You know, we want good partners and everything. And, you know, part of being a good partner is, you know, you pay a handsome price for the property, and that's a good partner for me. But
me too.
It's a lot of work for Al.
So that's all right. Al
Lot
and
of work for
Felicia
Al.
are going to tag team this. But I think, you know, look, I mean, this is just going to become part of the process. But it's good, I think, that we flush out a little bit more up front And staff is still working on those other recommendations. Anyhow, so there's a motion and a second. Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Good, Merle.
Get busy.
And that does it for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, City Council. Item number 20, approve the tentative agenda. Excuse me? What happened to her? Oh, my apologies. City Clerk.
You forgot that.
Opportunity, I don't have anything tonight.
If you're gonna be a stickler.
I liked his report better. It was nicer. Item number 20, approved tentative agenda for May 21st. Is there anybody who would like to add anything? I would like to entertain a motion to add, I know you guys are gonna love this, Town Center follow-up workshop. I know you guys like having workshop.
A date for one?
They're coming up, oh,
Not a date yet, just to put it on there so that we can
Okay.
figure it out between now and there.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to amend the tentative agenda to incorporate Town Center follow-up workshop.
That's what I just said.
And I thought that's what you said. Do I have a second?
So moved.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Outstanding.
Mayor,
Yep,
I have something I would like to talk to you about. I don't know if I should add it to the agenda.
go ahead. Ask me.
I have been on the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council for 4 years, since I've been a city council member. And since you just nominated me for the new board, I'm thinking that maybe we should move someone else on the city council to take my seat.
Okay, you know what, that's fair. If there's nobody who wants to immediately, I would prefer that it allow time for you to think about what it is and what it does, and Al can communicate it that way,
Yeah,
but thank you
yeah,
for
it meets
bringing
on
it up.
Monday, once a month, Monday mornings at 10 a.m. And it's usually till noon, and we don't meet in December, and we don't meet in July.
it's the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Conference?
Yes, it's Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council.
Council.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go right to item, so there's nothing else anyone wanted to add?
There was one other thing. I wouldn't mind if Scott McGuff was on the, God bless you. The noise abatement, I talked to Al about this, he thinks I'm crazy. The noise abatement board. Can we look into,
Yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we mention under comments and we'll add it,
okay,
all right?
because I just figured since he was doing that, I just remembered. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know that that's as time sensitive, right? So probably a good process for most of us,
He
if
would-
there's
I
something
think-
new,
Yeah, he,
that it kind of gets the concept, whatever, gets introduced under council comments.
okay.
So then we can plan it and, that whole transparency thing, so, but yeah, that's actually important. So, all right, council comments, and I'm gonna go.
So we have to,
You made had a motion to add something to the agenda, but you did not approve the agenda.
I apologize. Okay.
Did I get that right?
I thought we did.
we
Thought we
added
did.
Eric's item, but
didn't-
we
Oh, we
didn't,
have to add Dan's.
we didn't add Dan's item.
Right, we weren't gonna add Dan's.
Yeah, it was just,
So he made a motion to
Can
add it?
add yours. It was added, but
Okay,
the
all
motion
right.
was not
Well, then
approved.
now, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the amended tentative agenda.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second.
Any discussion?
Does Al have something?
You have something you wanted to
I
add?
just wanted to make sure I'm clear, is the noise abatement task force going to be part of that as well?
We didn't put it on there, but we can. I mean, I would rather not right now.
Okay.
Let's first hear about it, and then
Yeah,
it'll make its way on there. And
I knew about it, but
Right, I did too.
I did a poor job of making.
All right, so there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Item 21, council comments. I'm going to lead off with Councilmember Norris.
Okay, well, I just wanted to thank everybody for the thing that was close to my heart, the Warrior Games. I really appreciate that. And I just wanted to give out some kudos to the National Prayer Service was held in this chamber this past week, and it's the first time that it was held inside. It's always outside, and it was so powerful. Katie and Eric and Al and I that were able to attend, we got choked up at the first prayer, and then I all out cried with the veterans prayer, and it was just beautiful. So thanks to Barry and Tracy Sullivan and all the pastors that came to pray for everybody. That was wonderful. And thank you to all the employees that came to the Beaverland Butterfly Garden dedication, Janice Miller Medicinal Garden, and for everything that y'all did to make that special. Really appreciate that. And the last thing is the FAA meeting that I went to. They're proposing different flight plans and everything else. And it was pointed out to me that we don't have anybody on the noise abatement board. And so Felicia emailed to find out how to get somebody on it. And I know it sounds like a crazy idea to get on it because of the complaints I'm going to hear, but I've done some studying on the flight plans and stuff, and I would, like to put it on the schedule or on the agenda to get on that. And I don't know, I didn't really think too much about council comments because I put so much energy into my agenda items.
Well, that's all right. You don't have to talk just for the purpose of it, but Linda win. That's not an insult, was it? Backhanded compliment? I didn't even mean it that way. I do want to thank you for going to that meeting. It was important. Plus, there was some interesting information that came out of it and some misinformation that kind of came in the beginning. I went to it the next night. I think it was the next night.
Yeah, you went the next night.
And so it was good information, but thank you for doing that. But I do agree, we need representation on there.
Well, Safety Harbor got it, and they don't fly over Safety Harbor. So I want to try to see if they won't fly over Oldsmar. Probably won't happen, but I'm going to try.
Worth a try. Councilman Saraki.
Thank you, Mayor. I only have a couple things. As you all know, I went to Tallahassee for the Suncoast League of Cities. We do every week, this team members of the Suncoast travels to Tallahassee. The last week in session was my week, and it was the most educational experience I think I've ever had in my life. We were in the House chamber. They were approving a bunch of bills for medical. It was, just really a touching to see the people involved. And then I went to the Senate and saw the Senate do pass bills. They're much calmer, where the House is all a ruckus. I met with Senator Ed Hooper for a half hour. I met with Jamie Grant, which was really kind of unique. I just want to share this story with you. Is he wouldn't get back to me. I mean, I was there, and I wanted to meet with him for 5 minutes, and he wouldn't get back to me. And I was in the House chamber, and I was pointing down at him, and I'm going, "Are you mad at me?" I texted him, "Are you mad at me?" Finally, he texts me, he goes, "Where are you?" I go, "I'm upstairs." He looks up, he goes, "Meet me at the door in 5 minutes." So I went down, we were in his office for an hour, and it was inspiring. Jamie Robinson was with me, and Heather Gracie. Jamie Robinson is from the city of Largo, and Heather Gracie is from the city of Dunedin. And it was just a powerful meeting, 1 hour meeting with him. He just shred the whole light about what's going on with the bills and really took his time and explained it to us. And I just wanted to share that great experience with you. I'm sorry I'm losing my voice. Then I flew to Buffalo to be with my family, so I just got back this morning at 8:30, so I'm losing my voice. But it was a great session, and I definitely want to go there again next year for the last week, just to see the chaos. And then the other thing I want to share with everyone is, I think I mentioned it a couple meetings ago, Craft Street had the Ari Olds fashion drink. Well, it ended Thursday night. They sold 295.
Wow.
So I think that's great, huh? So there's a lot of drinking going on.
Old-fashioned style.
And they wanted me to come over and pick up they're making a donation to the Historical Society. I didn't have a chance to get over there today because I was just trying to get caught up at my office. And again, I just want to say thank you for the nomination on that board. I'm excited. Transportation, I'm ready.
Very good.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilmember Gannon.
A couple of things. I am so proud of the Women's Club. I'm proud to be a member. I'm so proud of the current leadership. We actually had more deposits this year than ever in the history of the club. We raised that much money. It's really a wonderful organization because everybody is only there to support each other and to support our city. It's my kind of women. I really love them. And our membership is growing. Our last meeting is next week. So you'll have to excuse my voice. I'm a little bit sick, but our
At the beginning of the
sorry,
meeting.
our last meeting next week, but we'll reconvene in September, and we're gonna get a website going, and I hope we continue to become more and more visible. All right, you guys, it's not the plague.
They talk to my own family when they're sick.
Yeah, as Linda mentioned, the National Day of Prayer was really amazing. I have extra programs if anybody wants copies, but there was at the beginning there was a whole prayer for the city officials, and they had Al and Linda and the mayor and I stand right here, and all of the pastors from all the area congregations gathered around us, and each of them placed their hands on our shoulders and prayed for us. I'm telling you, there was not a dry eye in the room. It was unbelievable. I am so grateful to Barry Sullivan and Tracy Sullivan. She did a beautiful music. Oh, it was fabulous. I'm so grateful to them. I wanted to wish our deputy city clerk a very happy birthday coming up later this week. And Chris too, right?
And the 20th.
Yeah, coming up. Well, we'll have And I'm looking forward to fire ops this weekend.
Well, I hope you're feeling better.
What?
I hope you're feeling better.
I'll muscle through it.
You'll sweat it
I'm
out.
a mom.
You'll
You
sweat
figure it out.
True.
You doing it again?
Suck it up, Buttercup.
gonna, but I'm afraid I'm gonna pull my ankle again.
It's time to get going. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Vice Mayor.
I'll be there with her in spirit.
Yeah. I'll be with you in spirit with her there.
Kevin, have you done it?
I have, yeah.
We
I did it
did
with,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, we
and
did it.
Ann.
They promised I won't pass out, so.
Well, you'll get to sweat out your sickness. A couple things. Happy birthday, Kathy, on Friday. Happy for you. Tomorrow's my last Leadership Canals program day, which is hard to believe it's already been a year.
It's crazy.
Went by really fast. So thank you again for sponsoring me and for the city for funding it. It's been a really, really great program. Happy Mother's Day on Sunday to all the mothers out there. And if you forgot it was Mother's Day, make sure you remember your mother. I just came back. I took my mother. We do our annual sort of Mother's Day month trip, and we went to Williamsburg and Jamestown, and so she went when she was younger, and I have never been, and then went over to Charlottesville, and that's a neat, it was really hot. It was hotter than it was here, if you can believe that. But if you've never done that, it was a quick, easy flight, and really neat. I think Williamsburg does a great job. They have everyone riding around is dressed in the character costumes and the horse-drawn carriage, and you can go to the shoemaker workshops and those kinds of things. So it was a really cool experience, and we walked about 18,000 steps in 89-degree heat. My mom said she needs a vacation from my vacation. And then lastly, just a thought, just an idea for, creativity in the future. I was at a friend's house, and she had bought a jungle gym that she put in the backyard for her daughters. I'm like, that's so neat. I wonder why no one else has ever bought a jungle gym for their kids. And then I started to think about how cool it would be to have the biggest jungle gym ever in our new downtown as some place where adults will come and hang out and kids. And then I started thinking, what if we could do it in the shape of, something sort of related to Oldsmar? And so I started researching, and apparently I wasn't the only one with this thought, because Lakeland just recently, it was in the news, they built one to honor, they had this famous gator in the city, and they are building a giant jungle gym shaped like a gator with staircase and the steps. If you Google it, or I'll send it to you, it's pretty neat concept. So just something to keep in the back of our minds as we, build out things in the future here. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Outstanding. Outstanding. All right, I've got a few things. Good job on reading the proclamations. For those of you who don't know, I've made the decision to involve more of the council in doing the proclamations. Did a great job. I also want to congratulate Dan for being recognized from the Florida League of Cities for Home Rule Hero.
Yes.
Again this year.
I just found out today.
Home rule hero?
Yeah. Big deal. It has a lot to do with advocacy on behalf of the cities and the league up in Tallahassee, and I know you made the trip up there a couple of times. Along that lines, I think Al shared on Friday where we sit right now with the appropriations bill that was presented by Representative Grant, supported by Senator Hooper. It's in the budget. It's on the governor's desk, and we wait. I was talking to Senator Hooper's office today. I think it was today or yesterday. And, you know, the last word was, we know he's going to cut some things. We don't know what it's going to be. I know that our representative that we have, our lobbyist, is up there and meeting with his staff, I think you told me? Tomorrow. And so it's $1 million appropriations that will help us a great deal out on Douglas. And so I don't know if anybody saw the story in the paper, but it is the largest appropriations in Pinellas.
Really?
So,
Yes.
yeah, it's a pretty big deal. So a lot of good work done on that, and so keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, Ed feels very positive about it.
Yeah, yeah. Day of prayer was powerful. That was absolutely powerful. You know, what's funny, I've been to a bunch of them. I don't remember them being that long.
It was long.
It was kind of long, right?
supposed to be an
I
hour.
think it was
I
just because
watched
the way things got changed and it came indoor and, you know, because of the rain and all that. But it was a very powerful event. If you've never been, I would encourage you to go. You know, no matter what faith you follow, but it was really powerful.
They're always that long, but that doesn't seem like it because you're outside and you can move around, but then the cars are coming and everything else. So they're usually a couple hours, but yeah, but it was more powerful because it was in here, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So in any event, let's see. Just a follow-up comment. Oh, I'm going to pass out. I have the flyers that have us all in there.
Each have
That
a
was
day of the
kind of
week
cool,
that
wasn't
they
it?
pray for us.
I know, it's like,
Well, I saw your picture on Facebook, but I wanted to get Thank you.
just a comment about the workshop that we had the other day and the way we worked together. I'll tell you what, I continue to be impressed with this team. You know, we continue to go like this, like the big picture to a little bit more focused and a little bit more focused, you know, and it's progress. And I would also submit to you that it's not coincidence that we have people coming with proposals, or interest, I should say, and their concept plans include things that we've talked about. And this is where it becomes so important for us to try to vision and go through that process, because it says to somebody who might be interested in making that kind of investment, okay, this is what they mean. This is what they want. You know, it's not like they come in here and get blindsided, right? Because the consistency is what we've lacked in the past. And so it's just an observation that really great work, really great work. I'm looking forward to seeing what our guests put together from our site plans. That was a fun project. So the last thing I have is just, well, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy birthday, Kathy. And so the last thing I have is just, I was there today at Larry's celebration of life. And I did, on behalf of the council and the city and our staff, just gave our condolences. So just keep them in your prayers. It was unexpected. He went in for something else, and they found, you know, some other illnesses that just took him, you know, unexpected. And so we lost a good one. Outside of that, I have nothing else. Other than, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.